Mic check 1 2 3 4 5. Test 1 2.
But it also seems like you're starting to hit a little better for average and just get the ball on a line back up the middle. Has your approach changed in that regard?
I'd say yeah. It'd be a lot of just comfort too, just being in the lineup 5-6 days a week is really getting to me now, getting that experience. So I mean, 88 to 92 starting to look a little bit slower than it did in the past. Two-strike approach has been big for me too. A lot of two-strike singles and doubles, just shortening up. So that's been good, yeah.
And where did this stealing ability come out of nowhere from?
Honestly, I did some speed training over the off season. A lot of it has to do with some good jumps. I mean, just reading pictures from the dugout, seeing what timing they are to the plate, seeing how many breaths they take on the mound. So just being able to pick and choose which pitches, which timings to get to, and you don't have to be the speediest guy, as you can see. I mean, I got 4 bags now in the year, and yeah, so it's proven to work just fine.
And you mentioned being in the lineup now 5 to 6 days a week, but also playing at third, at first, and getting some DH time too. What's that adjustment been like?
Adjustment's been fine. I mean, growing up, I was a shortstop, as I'm sure every infielder was growing up that has made it to this level. But I mean, yeah, I was lucky enough to play absolutely every position at Stanford and inter squads and whatnot. So I think I played games at third, second, and first, and then even in Omaha, my sophomore year, I was taking infield. Outfield at shortstop. So honestly, just more positions the better, right? So being able to play anything will. Benefit both me and the team long term. So,
and one last question: did you miss being back at home with that wind? blowing out straight away to center field when you're hitting?
I mean, I don't think you'll meet any hitter who doesn't want the wind blowing straight out to center field. I mean, we preach it here. We preach it where I've been. Just hit a bomb to center field, hit a ball off that batter's eye. So, no, I mean, really glad to be back.
Thanks, Brett. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ben.
Back to you, John, for more on the Toyota pregame show.
All right, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Brett. And we will have more on the Toyota pregame show right after this.
Love Chukars baseball and drive a Toyota? Great news! Thanks to our partners at Toyota, you can enjoy every Sunday game at Melaleuca Field for free. Just show your Toyota key at the box office at Sunday home games and get 2 tickets for free. Teton Toyota has always been committed to their support of the Idaho Falls community and Chukars baseball.
As I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now, wish me luck. Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application in helping me write.
And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Yolo High Wheelers baseball. Doug Greenwald with you tonight at Melaleuca Field in Idaho Falls, Idaho. It's the visiting Yolo High Wheelers and the hometown Idaho Falls Chukars. First meeting ever between these two teams. Yolo comes in at 14-13, just split a 6-game series, 3-3 with Oakland. Meanwhile, Idaho Falls comes in with a record of 11-19. So, as I said, the first of 6 meetings in this series, only a regular season meeting this year between these two clubs. So we'll see how these two stack up here tonight. Idaho Falls just spent the last 6 games at Boise, and Idaho Falls ended up taking 4 of 6 at the Hawks, at home against the Hawks. They just won 4 of 6 against the Hawks, and what I mean by that is the first 3 games were in Boise, and the next 3 were here. So 3 at Boise, and then the last 3 games of that series in Idaho Falls. So a series in which there were 3 games in Boise and 3 at Idaho Falls. When you combine the 6 games, Idaho Falls won 4 out of the 6, including a 20-9 game here on Sunday. So these two teams about to get together this evening from Idaho. It'll be for the Yolo High Wheelers, the right-hander Cameron Rapetti, who gets the baseball. 2 wins, 1 loss, and an ERA of 3.25. For Cameron, it'll be a 6th start and 8th appearance of the year. He's made a couple of relief outings. Meanwhile, for Idaho Falls, Owen Schartz, he gets the baseball. The right-hander is 1-3 with a 6.55 earned run average. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Yolo High Wheelers under manager Billy Horton. Leading off for Yolo and playing center field is Braylon Skinner. Batting second and at shortstop, Braylon Marine. Hitting third at second base, Bobby Leday. The cleanup batter is the left fielder, Jose Gonzalez. Batting fifth and playing at first base is Alejandro Figueiredo. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Braden Blackford. The right fielder batting seventh is Justin Kirby. Batting eighth and playing at third base is Kirkland Banks, and rounding out the lineup and doing the catching this evening is Angel Mendoza. On the mound for the Yolo High Wheelers is, again, the right-hander, Cameron Rapetti. So, again, for the Yolo High Wheelers and manager Billy Horton, again, Yolo coming in with a record of 14-13. We'll get to the standings portion of everything later. It's Skinner, Marine, and Leday, Gonzalez, Figueredo, and Blackford, Kirby, Banks, Mendoza, and the righty Rapetti on the mound. For the Idaho Falls Chukars at 11-19 under manager Troy Percival, the former Angel closer, one of the great closers of his day. Leading off and playing right field, Nick Iatone. Batting second and in center field, Tyler Wyatt. Hitting third and playing shortstop, Theo Hardy. Brett Barrera, he plays first base and hits cleanup. The designated hitter, Trevor Rogers, bats fifth. Playing third base and hitting sixth is Roberto Gonzalez. Jacob Jablonski is the left fielder, hitting seventh. Batting in the eighth spot and at second base, Brandon Boning. The catcher, Ryan McCarthy. Actually, you know what? This is not the lineup we have. I'll tell you what, there's been a switch in the lineup, folks. And I beg your pardon, this is... well, we've had some issues, folks, the last few series that there have been pitchers that have not been relayed to us. And it's rather inexcusable by the home team. I got to say that this is was not relayed to us. So we will try this again. You know what? We're just going to go with what we see on the field, because I have one lineup, and the lineup we have off our monitor is a different lineup. So we were told that Owen Schartz is starting tonight. Now I have a different, I guess you could say, a pitcher in Casey Minchie, and a different order to the lineup. So anyway, I'm not sure what we have in store tonight. I guess we'll just have to give you the Idaho Falls lineup when they come up, but that is what we have or what we don't have. So I do apologize for that. So the lineup for Idaho Falls that I do have is Iatone in right, Wyatt in center, Hardy at first, Rogers the DH, Roberto Gonzalez at third, Jacob Jablonski in left, Brandon Boning in second base, and Ryan McCarthy doing the catching. And I do have Owen Schartz starting. That's the lineup I was given. So we're going to just have to give it to you when we have some idea of what's going on. All right, the national anthem.
Brian Steffen doing the honors tonight on no alcohol night here at the ballpark.
All right. The Idaho Falls Chukars have taken the field, and we will have to see who is out there starting. Again, you know, you get one lineup. I'm talking from the visiting or the opposing team. Northern Colorado would randomly switch pitchers before the game and go with openers, and I guess it doesn't matter if I know. It's most importantly, I suppose, if the opposing team knows. But again, it is rather frustrating sometimes. But anyway, that unfortunately is out of my control, and can't really dwell on it as much as, well, I can't really dwell on it, I guess. Mentioned that the Yolo High Wheelers coming into tonight at 14-13. Yolo 7.5 back of first place. Now they're 4.5 games back of second place. Remember, you need to get to second place. Missoula is first at 23-7. Glacier is second at 20-10. So Yolo, remember, they still have 3 games to make up, but coming in 4.5 back of a playoff spot with a few teams in between. Idaho Falls, pretty much no chance of any first half playoff hopes. 11-19, coming in 10th place, 12 back of Missoula, and 9 back of any playoff spot. So that is, as I said, the situation here this evening as these two teams get set to play ball here tonight. So again, from Idaho Falls, will be 6 games here in Idaho Falls. All will start at the same time, which will be 6:05 p.m. Pacific time. That's really the only time you need to know. And anyway, it will be Owen Schartz starting for. So I guess we did have the right lineup, but we had, as I said, we had 2 lineups. One that I received from a member of the Idaho Falls staff, and another that was posted on the video a few moments ago. So anyway, unfortunately, that is the best we can give you, but it will be Schartz starting. So I think from now on, I'm just going to read the lineup, and whatever it is, it is. So anyway, we are ready to go here from Idaho Falls as Braylon Skinner to lead it off for the Yolo High Wheelers. And as I said, we are about set for action here this evening. So ready to go. Hopefully we get our feedback up and running. It's always something, folks.
for Yolo and Angel Mendoza.
Well, we are having some trouble with our video stream here during this remotely. I will tell you, Yolo went 1-2-3 in the top half of the first inning against Owen Schartz. Braylon Skinner, he struck out. Swinging. Braylon Skinner struck out swinging to open the game. Shortstop Braylon Marine grounded out to third base, and Bobby Leday lined back to the pitcher in Schartz. So we're going to have some issues, I have a feeling, with our stream here tonight. It's the bottom of the first inning. I will tell you that Nick Iatone just singled to center to open the bottom of the first against Cameron Rapetti, who comes back and the pitch strikes. Again, we are having a lot of buffering issues, folks, on our video stream, which seems to cut in and out, so we do apologize for that. Unfortunately, there's just certain things that are out of my control. And
team in Oregon now that's been given the approval to sell THC seltzer.
all right, we hope this will be a little better now as we are in the bottom of the first inning. Hope, hope, hope. It is no score. Runners at first and second for Idaho Falls. And the pitch from Cameron Rapetti to Theo Hardy has popped up foul right side. So the count is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. We will try and get you caught up on everything in just a moment. We mentioned Nick Iatone ended up singling to open the bottom half of the first inning. The second batter, Tyler Wyatt, ended up walking. That moved Iatone to second. Theo Hardy singled, and that loaded the bases. And now Brett Barrera is at the plate with the bases loaded and nobody out. So the count to Barrera is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So it's been single, walk, and then Theo Hardy a single to left. So it's been a single to center, a walk, and a single to left. So hopefully this will all be a little more to our liking now as we are in the first inning. It is 0-0 Yolo and Idaho Falls. Doug Greenwald with you. So fortunately, you haven't missed any of the scoring because there hasn't been any scoring yet, but the bases are loaded and nobody out, and Cameron Rapetti in some trouble right here with Brett Barrera at the plate. The numbers for Cameron Rapetti this season: 2 wins, 1 loss, ERA at 3.25. This is his 8th appearance and his 6th as a starter. Rapetti, in his last outing, that was against Oakland last Tuesday, a 17-1 Yolo win. 6 innings of that game, allowed 5 hits, 1 run, which was not earned. He walked 1 and struck out 9. It's been back-to-back 9 strikeout performances for Rapetti. Runners at every base, and the pitch to Barrera, and that is swung on and driven toward left field. And there to make the catch, or I beg your pardon, there to play the ball on, there to make the catch is the left fielder Jose Gonzalez, though tagging from third is Iatone, and well, what's the ruling here? And this is not great camera work. The ball gets hit, and I can't see where the ball went. It's 1-0 Idaho Falls, and now it's Trevor. No, Jose Gonzalez did make the catch right there, so that'll be a sacrifice flag. And we are only going by what the monitor shows us, and a ball is hit. There's not many cameras, I can tell you, in Idaho Falls, so that is the first out here in the bottom half of the first inning. So Wyatt ends up scoring. It's 2-0 Idaho Falls, and now it's Roberto Gonzalez who bats. Hopefully we can catch you all up in a moment. As the pitch on the way is a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Barrera, he ended up singling. So that scored Iatone. That moved Wyatt to third, Hardy to second, and then Rogers, the sac fly to left field. And that scored Wyatt. So it's 2-0 Idaho Falls. There are runners at first and second and 1 out. So 2-0 in favor of the Chukars. And Cameron Rapetti ready to go. And the pitch on the way, and that's in the dirt. And it kicks out in front of the plate. The catcher Mendoza picks the ball up with his bare right hand. But that'll be a wild pitch. He had no play anywhere, so Hardy goes to third. And Barrera up to second base. And that is a wild pitch charged to Cameron Rapetti. So Rapetti in a whole lot of trouble now. He's been in a lot of trouble, I shouldn't say now. It's 2-0 in favor of Idaho Falls. The catcher Roberto Gonzalez at 1-2, and he takes low ball 2. And the count's now with 2 balls and 2 strikes from Rapetti, who went to school at Cal State Fullerton. Runners at first and second in the pitch, and that swung on and popped up in the direction of left field. To his right, it's the left fielder Jose Gonzalez, and in fair territory near the line, he makes the catch. And Roberto Gonzalez is out, but tagging from third is Hardy. He is on his way home, and he will score standing up. So it's now 3-0 in favor of Idaho Falls. So give Gonzalez a sacrifice fly and a run batted in. So just like that, 3-0 in favor of the Chukars. Just 6 batters into the game. And now it's Jacob Jablonski who bats with Barrera at second base. And Cameron Rapetti delivers. And that's up and away, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball. And no strikes from Rapetti, who is 6'4", 230 pounds, and the pitch here, and that swung on and lifted high and foul down the right field line. And the count's to Jablonski. Now moves to no balls and 1 strike. Rapetti, 23 years old, again 6'4", 230 pounds, out of Cypress, California, in Orange County. As the 1-1 pitch, and that's strike two called on the outside corner. And the count's now at 1 ball and 2 strikes, with Idaho Falls up 3-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning. And ready to go is Rapetti from the set. And the pitch to Blonsky, swing and a miss, pitch down and in, strike 3. The catcher Mendoza up with the ball. He will throw to Figueiredo at first. Strikeout, put out goes 2-3. And that ends the first. But 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom half. We go to the top half of the second inning. It is Idaho Falls 3 and Yolo nothing on YouTube Live. Moving along to the second inning, and it is 3-0 Idaho Falls. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. Glad you can join us as Yolo and Idaho Falls meet for the first time this year. Jose Gonzalez leads it off, and he takes a strike on the outside corner from Owen Shart, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez, Figueiredo, and Blackford, 4, 5, and 6 to face Sharts in the pinstriped uniform. And the pitch, Gonzalez takes low for a ball. And the count moves now to a ball and a strike for Jose Gonzalez. Guy certainly had a great series against Oakland last weekend as he swings and grounds one past the mound, up the middle, and that's going to get through into center field, a base hit for Jose Gonzalez. I mentioned Gonzalez had a great series against the, comes in at 375. He has a team-high 7 homers and has a team-best 28 runs batted in. First hit, first base runner for Yolo. So Gonzalez is at first base, and now here is Alejandro Figueiredo. But Gonzalez in that series against Oakland was 9 for 23. He hit .391 in that set and reached base 14 times over those 6 games. So Gonzalez at first, now Figueiredo. And he looks at a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. Figueiredo, as a member of Yolo, 4 for his first 16. That's .250 with a homer and 2 runs batted in. Gonzalez at first base, 3 steals. He's been caught twice. It is 3-0 Idaho Falls, top of the second inning. And Sharts from the set delivers, and that's taken low for a ball. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike. Mentioned Idaho Falls in the home white uniforms, black pinstripes. Chukars spelled across the front in black. Maroon cap, black bill. Number on the back of the shirt. As the 1-1, and Figueiredo is swinging a foul to the backstop, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yolo in the gray uniforms, gray shirts, gray pants. Yolo in big black letters spelled across the front of the shirt, gold number on both sides of the shirt. Gonzalez at first base. The count to Figueiredo is at 1 ball and 2 strikes with a 3-0 Chukars lead. And the pitch, and Figueiredo takes that's in the dirt for a ball. Good block there by the catcher McCarthy. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes against Owen Schartz, who has time in the Pittsburgh Pirates system. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Chukars 3 and the High Wheelers nothing. Top of the second inning. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch, and that's outside ball 3. So now 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 and 2 the count. We'll see if Gonzalez takes off right here. Not the fastest of runners is Jose. So 3 and 2 the count. And Schartz delivers, and Figueiredo swings and misses. Snap throw back to first, and back safely there with a dive is Gonzalez. Berea there to take the throw. So Gonzalez had made a motion towards second, and then he just decided to stay at first. So Figueiredo can strike out for Schartz. 1 down. Top of the second inning. It is Idaho Falls 3, Yolo nothing. And now the designated hitter, Braden Blackford, comes up. Schartz, 6'2", 190 pounds. 24 years old, grew up just north of Los Angeles, grew up in Simi Valley. I went to college at the University of Nevada. So now it's Blackford who bats, and Braden takes low outside, ball 1. And the count is a 1 ball, and no strikes. Blackford digs in at 310. He has 5 homers, 19 runs batted in. And he's been swinging a hot bat of late, 9 for 21 in that series against Oakland. So he hit .429 in the 5 games he played in that series. As the 1-0 pitch, swinging a foul ball left side. And that's strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 3-0 Idaho Falls. We're in the top half of the second. Blackford had a pair of 3-hit games in that series, including the other day. So he's had a pair of 3-hit games in the last 3 games he's played. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gonzalez at first, and the pitch. And that is high ball 2. Although they're going to challenge that. Idaho Falls will challenge that. Chukars thought that that was a strike. And I guess the Chukars won the challenge, so that call's been overturned to a strike. So instead of 2-1, the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes with Justin Kirby on deck. Chukars 3, High Wheelers nothing. Top of the second. Gonzalez leads at first base. And the pitch, and Blackford takes just outside for a ball 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Schartz, this is his 3rd pro season, first in the Pioneer League, but he has time in organized ball with the Pirates. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch, Blackford swings and misses at a fastball, strike 3. And he is out. So 3rd strikeout now for Owen Schartz. Top half of the second. It is 3-0 Idaho Falls. And now it's Justin Kirby who will come up. So I mentioned Kirby who comes up. And the right-handed batter looks outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Kirby, one of a handful of High Wheelers, hitting over 300. He's at .316. He has 3 homers. And he has 13 runs batted in. One of those 3 homers came in this series at home against Oakland over the weekend. Or last week, I should say, Tuesday through Sunday, is the pitch to Kirby, and that's foul to the screen. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike. And yes, Kirby the other day did score a run, so he has now scored a run in 10 straight games, meaning the last 10 in which he has played, he has scored at least 1 run. 12 runs overall in that stretch for him as he swings here and fouls one off right side. And that is strike 2. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kirby. So 3-0 Idaho Falls with Kirkland Banks wetting on deck. Schartz works from the first base side of the rubber. Now he'll step off the rubber. That's his first disengagement. Kirby, gray pants up to his knees, showing the thick black socks. Stands pretty far back in that right-handed batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch, and Kirby takes at the knees. Strike 3 called. He knew it. Good pitch there. He's out. So after the leadoff single by Gonzalez, 3 straight strikeouts for Schartz. No runs hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the second from Idaho Falls. It's Idaho Falls 3, Yolo nothing on YouTube Live. We go to the bottom of the second inning, and the first pitch on the way to Brandon Boring is taken for a strike from Cameron Rapetti, 0-1. 3-0 Idaho Falls, and Boring takes outside for ball one. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike. So it'll be Boning, McCarthy, and then the top of the order for Iatone. And the pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count for Boning. It's capital Bohning. 26 games this year, 247, 4 homers, 17 runs batted in. And the pitch on the way, and that is swung on a miss, strike 3. And Boning is out, 1 down, second strikeout for Rapetti. It's 3-0 Idaho Falls. Bottom half of the second inning, and now Ryan McCarthy will dig in. He is the catcher, right-handed batter in McCarthy. And Rapetti's pitch, and that's popped up. Second baseman in Leday waiting for the baseball, a few steps to his left, and he makes the catch on the back portion of the dirt. And that is very quickly out number 2 here in the bottom of inning number 2. Idaho Falls 3 and Yolo nothing. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo High Wheelers on YouTube Live. And now for the second time tonight, Idaho Falls will go to the top of its order for the right fielder and Nick Iatone, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Well, the count's at no balls and 1 strike of the next pitch, and that's taken outside for a ball. So 2-0. Iatone. It's Iatone, not Iatone. He walked his first time, and he takes in the dirt for a ball. And the count's now at 2 balls and 1 strike. So 6 games here in Idaho Falls. And we mentioned all will be at the same time, all at 6:05 p.m. Pacific. The windup and the pitch. And that's outside, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. And then the High Wheelers are home much of July. High Wheelers will be back home July 2nd in a week as Iatone takes high for a ball. And that is ball 4. So he is at first base. Second time he's been on. It's Idaho Falls 3 and the Yolo High Wheelers nothing. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live here tonight in Idaho Falls, where it stays light early. And of course, we're pretty far north. So the pitch on the way to Wyatt, and that swung on, and that's lined toward left field. And that is going to get down for a base hit. Up to grab the ball, Gonzalez. Iatone up to second base. And Wyatt, who walked and scored in that 3-run first, has a single to left. So now it's first and second. With 2 out on this, what was an 87-degree night. At first pitch here in Idaho Falls. And now the first pitch on the way to Theo Hardy is inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Not quite as hot as it's been in Davis over the last week, but it does get hot up here. This is the desert. Guess much of Idaho is. So now it's first and second. And the pitch on the way, and that is a strike called on the inside corner to Hardy. And the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike from Rapetti. For Theo Hardy, averages at .231, 3 home runs. He's got 4 runs batted in, and the pitch on the way, and that's fouled off right side. And that is strike 2. And the count's now 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rapetti, who is in the short gray sleeves on this Tuesday night. The 1-2 pitch. And that is swung on, and that is lined toward third, and that is caught by the third baseman in Banks. So out is Hardy, and that concludes the second inning. So Rapetti works out of some 2-out trouble. No runs. There was 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left. We move to the top half of the 3rd inning. It is Idaho Falls 3 and Yolo nothing on YouTube Live. Well, on we go to the 3rd inning. It is 3-0 Idaho Falls. And Kirkland Banks leads it off from the first pitch from Owen Schartz is outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Banks, Mendoza, and then the top of the yellow order for the center fielder, Skinner. And the 1 ball, no strike count, and Banks takes up an in ball 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and no strikes. So 3-0 Idaho Falls. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Idaho Falls. No runs hit, no errors for Yolo. As Banks swings here and a foul to the backstop, strike 1. And the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Banks bats at .287. He has 3 home runs, and he has 15 runs batted in. And the kick and the 2-1 pitch, and that's swung on, and that's fly toward right field. And Iatone will not get there. The ball's going to land 1 hop off the wall, and hustling into second base is Kirkland Banks, and he has a leadoff double. So the ball was really hit more between the right fielder Iatone and the center fielder Wyatt. And Iatone just could, neither player just could not get to the baseball. So good start for the High Wheelers here in the top half of the 3rd inning. And now it's Mendoza who could use a hit. So Mendoza comes up for the first time. Right-handed batter. And the pitch with Banks at second, and that's inside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball. And no strikes to Mendoza. For the catcher in Mendoza, average bats at an even .200. He has 1 homer, and he has 10 runs batted in. And the pitch on the way to Mendoza, and that's inside for a ball. Count is a 1 ball and no strikes. Mendoza's job here, at least get Banks to third as he swings, and he flies one foul right side, and that is strike 1. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike. Mentioned Mendoza, who could use a hit. I just gave you his average, which sits at 200. 3 hits in his last 23 at-bats. It's a 130 clip in that span. So Banks, the runner at second base. 3-0 Idaho Falls. Visitors half of the 3rd inning. And the pitch from Schartz, and that's up and in for a ball. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 1 strike. So I mentioned Idaho Falls team coming in at 11-19, and again played 3 games at Boise, and then later in the series, the 3 games here in Idaho Falls. So it was a 6-game set as Mendoza fights this one off foul right side, strike 2. And the count's now at 2 balls and 2 strikes, with the Chukars leading the High Wheelers 3-0. top half of the third. And the pitch on the way to Mendoza, and that's popped up foul. Right side, the count is now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Angel Mendoza. Sunday in that 8-6 loss at home to Oakland, Mendoza was 0 for 2. Banks at second, and Mendoza swings and taps one past the mound. And out at first is Mendoza. It was the shortstop, Harding, moving to his left, who was able to, the second baseman, Boning, moving to his right to make the play. So Mendoza does get a productive out. At this stage of the game, yeah, you're down 3-0, but it's only the third inning. Don't have to get everything back right now. So Banks moves to third, 4-3 on that play. Yeah, the pitcher, Sharts, lead for that ball, just couldn't make the play. And I mentioned the second baseman there in Boning, capital B-O-H-N-I-N-G, moved to his right, and from back a second, able to throw out Mendoza. I think if anybody else was running, it's probably an infield single. Top of the Yolo order for the second time for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner. And Shart's pitch is inside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes with a 3-0 Idaho Falls advantage. Top half of the third inning. Skinner struck out swinging in the first. And the pitch on the way to Braylon. And that is high outside, ball 2. So the count moves now to 2 balls and no strikes from Sharts. 2-0 the count. And the pitch, and Skinner at least trying to get a fly ball deep enough for a ground ball. Hopefully better than that. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. And the count's now at 3 balls and 1 strike. So Banks leads at third base. And the kick and the pitch. And that's low inside, ball 4. So Skinner on base for the first time tonight. And now it's first and third. And now Braylon Marine will come up. Now Marine had some technical difficulties in the first inning. Unfortunately, didn't really miss anything in the top of the first. But Marine, the team's leading hitter coming into tonight at .385. He has 3 homers. And he has 22 runs batted in. And yes, he has a 14-game hitting streak. As the pitch on the way is swung on and tapped towards short. To his left is Banks, to his left is Boring, and he will have 1 play, and that's to first. And that gets Marine. So he's 0 for 2. But the good news is a run scores. So Banks comes in to score. Skinner moves up to second base. Didn't really have a chance at a double play there. So the High Wheelers do get a run, so give Marine a run batted in. So it's now 3-1 in favor of Idaho Falls. And now it's Bobby Leday who comes up with the Skinner at second base. And now base into the outfield could get another run in. And the pitch swinging and a chopper to second base. Up with it is Boning, and he will throw to Barrera at first. And Leday is out. And the High Wheelers are on the third. Tip of the cap, though, to the catcher, Angel Mendoza. Made a productive out. Was able to get Banks up to second base. And get Banks over to third base, put him in a position to score on the ground out. So the High Wheelers trimmed the fat a little bit. 1 run, 1 hit. There were no errors. And a runner left. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Idaho Falls 3, Yolo 1 on YouTube Live. Moving along to the home half of the third inning. And the lead is 3-1 in favor of Idaho Falls over Yolo. By the way, the RBI for Marine on that ground out was his 23rd run batted in this year. Brett Barrera leads it off. And the first pitch from Cameron Rapetti to Barrera is a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. It's Barrera, Rogers, and Gonzalez. 4, 5, and 6 with a 3-1 Idaho Falls advantage. The windup in the 1-0, and Barrera looks outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Barrera coming into tonight's game at .362. He has team-high 10 homers. He's got 35 runs batted in, which is also tops on the league. As the pitch on the way is outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Barrera now with 36 RBIs. Had that RBI single to left in the first inning. So 3-1 Idaho Falls. Bottom half of the third. As Rapetti winds and the pitch, Barrera takes, and that is inside for a ball. So 3-1. We were not given umpiring positions, but I can tell you the names of the umpires, and I will tell you the names of them. 3-1 pitch, and Barrera, a big swing and a high pop-up foul back toward the press area. And the count moves now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. I'll give you those names in a moment. I'm sure a lot of you are anxiously awaiting. The windup in the 3-2, and Barrera swings, and he lines this one to the right side, and that's going to get down for a base hit. So Barrera has himself a single to right center. To his left to grab the ball, the center fielder Skinner, and Barrera now 2 for 2 this evening. And that is hit number 5 for Idaho Falls. And the Chukars have a 3-1 lead here in the bottom half of the third inning. And now the first pitch to Trevor Rogers, and that's driven deep toward left center field. Pretty well struck. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Barrera touches second. He is on his way to third. He will stop there as the center fielder Skinner gets the ball in toward the shortstop Marine. And Trevor Rogers has a double to left. And here come the Chukars right back in business, second and third with nobody out. And a 3-1 advantage for Idaho Falls. So there was no chance at all for the center fielder Skinner nor the left fielder Gonzalez to get to that one. And now, chance to open it up a little more now early for the Chukars. Yolo will bring its infield in for Roberto Gonzalez, who swings to the first pitch and hits one foul up along third, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. So 3-1 Idaho Falls, but a chance for more. And the pitch to Gonzalez, who fly to left field in the first inning, and that's taken high for a ball. So the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike. And Rapetti in some deep trouble here. Deals, and Gonzalez takes. That's a strike on the inner half. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. The umpires, as soon as I can get a chance, I will mention their names, but Rapetti delivers, and Gonzalez swings and rolls one to third. Grabbed by Marine. He will check Barrera at third, and he will throw on to Figueiredo at first. So that's 1 out. Now the runners hold. Barrera holds at third. Rogers holds at second base. And now it's Jacob Jablonski. So the umpires for tonight's game, and again, we do not have their assigned positions, but the names are Cody Kernitt, capital C-U-R-N-I-T-T, Elliot Sparks, and Brian Rose. Cody Kernitt and Rose are the Pioneer League assigned umpires for this contest. Now Jablonski bats with the infield in, and he takes high inside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes to Jablonski, who struck out swinging, was put out 2-3 his first time. The catcher Mendoza to the first baseman Figueiredo. The next pitch, and that's a strike on the inside corner. 1-1 the count. Runners at second and third to get infield in. And the pitch to Jablonski, and that's foul to the backstop, strike 2. So 1-2 the count now. And Rapetti obviously in need of a strikeout here, or a pop out to the infield, anything that prevents a run from scoring. Barrera's at third, Rogers at second. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Pitch on the outer half of the plate. Jablonski is out, so it's a big second out. That keeps the runner stationary, so Barrera holds at third. Rogers remains at second. 3-1 Idaho Falls. Home half of the third inning, and now it's Boning who bats. And he swings, and he flies this one toward center field. To his left is Skinner, and he makes the catch. And Boning is out, and Cameron Rapetti is out of trouble in the third. Idaho Falls second and third, nobody out, and it stays that way. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the fourth. Idaho Falls 3, Yolo 1 on YouTube Live. Top of the fourth we go. It is 3-1 Idaho Falls. And Jose Gonzalez leads it off, and he takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Gonzalez, Figueredo, and Blackford, 4, 5, and 6 to face Owen Schartz, who deals, and Gonzalez takes a strike on the outer half. So quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to Gonzalez, who singled to center in the second inning. So the High Wheelers very fortunate to only be down 3-1, but to get out of that bottom of the third. Cameron Rapetti had runners at second and third and nobody out, and the Chukars did not score. Gonzalez, who's continued his hot hitting with that single to center in the second, and the pitch, and Jose swings at a tapper foul up along first. So the count's now at no balls and 2 strikes. Chukars scored all 3 of their runs in the first. Yolo with a run in the third. And the 0-2. And that's high and away to Jose, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count from Schartz as the pitch is in the dirt, ball 2. And the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Schartz from the setting with nobody on. And the pitch Gonzalez takes, and that is high, ball 3. And the count moves now to 3 balls and 2. 3-2 the count to Jose Gonzalez. 3-1 Idaho Falls, and the pitch Gonzalez takes. And they're going to challenge it. It was called a ball. And it has been overturned to a strike, so that's strike 3, and Gonzalez is out on strikes, and that's the 5th strikeout for Schartz. So Idaho Falls notches the first out in the top half of the 4th inning. The lead for Idaho Falls is at 3-1. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. We'll be on YouTube Live all week. Glad you can join us. And now it's Alejandro Figueiredo. He struck out swinging his first time. Right-handed batter. And Schartz delivers, and Figueiredo swings and lines one foul right side, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike from Schartz, I should say, not to be confused with outfielder Jacob Shanks. They have a Shanks and a Schartz. No balls and 1 strike the count. And the pitch, and Figueiredo takes a breaking ball for a strike on the inside corner. And the count moves now to 0-2 from Schartz, who was the opening night starter for Idaho Falls against Missoula. Got a no decision in that game. The last game for Schartz started last Tuesday night at Boise, a game in which Idaho Falls won 13-3. Schartz was the winning pitcher in that one, as the pitch to Figueiredo was high for a ball. Count moves now to 1-2. Schartz in that one, mentioned, got the win, went 7 innings, allowed 8 hits, 3 runs all earned. The kick and the 1-2 pitch, and that's low ball 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Figueiredo. And that 13-3 win, Idaho Falls had no runs for the first 3 innings and then scored all 13 of its runs from innings 4 through 8. A 5-run 4th, and then 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. As Figueiredo swings, and he drives this one into right field. He's got himself a base hit, a line drive shot to right that Iantone moving to his right up with the baseball. The right fielder gets the ball in towards second. So Figueiredo has a single, and now the possible tying run comes up. And it's Braden Blackford with a 3-1 Idaho Falls lead. But anyway, Schartz in that ball game mentioned ended up going 7 innings, allowed 8 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 2, and he struck out 8. So now Blackford bats. He struck out swinging his first time. And he takes a strike on the inside corner. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike to Braden Blackford. Blackford struck out swinging his first time. And the pitch on the way, and that is in the dirt for a ball. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike. But yeah, as I mentioned, 8 strikeouts for Schartz in that game. So that was mentioned a 1-3 record. That's been, well, as you could probably figure out, his lone win this season. So 1 ball and no strikes the count to Black 2. And the count moves down to 2 balls and 1 strike. Now the 8 strikeouts for Schartz, that is not a season high for him. His season high was 9. A game in which he lost at Missoula back on June 13th. Now the pitch to Blackford, and that is taken low, ball 2. And the count moves down to 2 balls and 1 strike with an Idaho Falls 3-1 advantage. Top half of the 4th inning. Figueiredo, not much speed at first. I highly doubt he will go. As Schartz from the set delivers, and Blackford swings and rips one into right field, a base hit. To his left, the right fielder and Iantone up with the baseball, gets it in towards short. Figueiredo to second, and Blackford, which had a good series against Oakland, 9 hits in that series. He played in 5 of the 6 games, had 9 hits over 5 games in that set, has himself a single. Hit number 4 now for Yolo. It is a 3-1 Idaho Falls lead. Top of the 4th inning, and now Justin Kirby comes up for the second time to face Schartz. Kirby struck out swinging, or struck out looking, I should say, in the second inning. So 3-1 Idaho Falls. Top half of the fourth. And now Schartz will step off the rubber. So Figueiredo's at second. Blackford is at first. And Schartz back to the plate now. And Kirby a big swing and a miss at a high fastball, strike one. And the count's at no balls and one strike. And I don't know if the catcher McCarthy and the pitcher Schartz were crossed up on that, but McCarthy goes out to hand deliver the baseball back to Schartz. So the count is at no balls and one strike. And the pitch on the way to Kirby, and that's foul to the backstop. And we'll try it again now, and no balls and two strikes. Here at Melaleuca Field in Idaho Falls, Idaho, 350 down the left field line, 390 to center field, and 335 down the right field line. Ballpark here opened in 2007. Runners lead at first and second, and the pitch, and Kirby takes very high for a ball. Good catch there by catcher McCarthy. And the count's at 1-2. The dimensions to the gaps, 410 to left center, and it's 390 to right center. This ballpark is on the same site as what had been called McDermott Field, but they tore McDermott Field down after the 06 season and rebuilt this for 07. As Kirby takes a breaking ball, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. And he is out, so breaking pitch there, and Kirby strikes out specifically looking for the second time now. And that is a big second out because it keeps Figueiredo at second and Blackford at first. And the game at 3-1 Idaho Falls. And now another man who comes up who represents the go-ahead run. That's Kirkland Banks. He has scored the only YOLO run tonight, doubled and then scored in the double lead off the third, and then scored on the ground out by Marine. The runners lead at first and second, 3-1 Idaho Falls, and the pitch is a strike call to Banks on the outside corner. And the count's at no balls and one strike to Kirkland. Banks had been in a little bit of a drought in that series against Oakland. He was 0 for 8 in the midst of that series, but then 3 hits over his last 2 games coming in to tonight. So 3-1 Idaho Falls, top half of the fourth inning. And Schartz from the set looks back at second. And the 1-ball, 1-strike pitch. And Banks swings, chops this one to third. Up with it is Gonzalez. He'll go to the second baseman, Boning at second. And they get the force on Blackford. 5-4 on the force at second. And the High Wheelers do not score here in the fourth. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors. And 2 left onto the bottom of the fourth from Idaho Falls. It remains Idaho Falls 3 and YOLO 1 on YouTube Live. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, 3-1. Idaho Falls leads Yolo. Doug Greenwald with you. And the first pitch on the way to the catcher Ryan McCarthy from Cameron Rapetti, taken for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. McCarthy and the top of the Idaho Falls order for the right fielder Iatone and Wyatt. And the pitch is outside, ball one to McCarthy, who popped to second base his first time. Rapetti right back, and that's outside, ball two. And the count moves now to 2-1 strike. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live, 3-1. Idaho Falls out in front. All the Idaho Falls runs coming in the bottom of the first. And Rapetti and the High Wheelers very fortunate. It's only a 3-1 lead for Idaho Falls. Because the Chukars had runners at second and third and nobody out in the third and didn't score as McCarthy takes low and in, ball three. And the count moves now to 3-1 strike. 3-1 the count to McCarthy and the pitch, and that swung on and ripped to third, but gloved by Blackford. Nice play there, just back of the lip of the grass. He'll throw in a figure-8 at first, and McCarthy is out. So Rapetti, who fell behind 3-1, gets the ground out there. So one away. And now for the third time this evening, Idaho Falls will go to the top of its order for the right fielder, Nick Iatone. He is 1 for 1. He has singled, he has walked, and he has scored. Idaho Falls 3, Yolo 1, and the pitch to Iatone is outside, ball one. And the count moves to 1-0 strikes to Iatone, who's from Joliet, Illinois. It's about 45 minutes south of Chicago as he takes a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 strike. Rapetti working quickly out of the windup, and Iatone takes outside, ball two. 2 strike. Iatone went to college, eventually went to four-year school at East Tennessee State University in Johnson City, Tennessee. The kick on the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Strike two. 2 strikes to Iatone, who is 23 years old, as he swings here and drives this one toward right field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. One off to the wall. The right fielder Kirby to his right up with a baseball. Gets the ball in toward the shortstop Marine, but not before Iatone has a double to right, and that's the third time he's been on base now. He is 2 for 2. He's also walked, so he's reached base safely now 3 times this evening. Hit number 7 for Idaho Falls. 3-1 Idaho Falls. Bottom of the fourth, and now Tyler Wyatt digs in. So the 7 hits allowed by Rapetti, that matches the most he has allowed this year. So now Wyatt's 1 for 1, and he takes outside, ball one. And the count's at 1-0 strikes. So I want to know the count to Wyatt, one of the 3 who scored in that Idaho Falls first. And the pitch, and Wyatt takes, and that is low for a ball. And the count's now at 2 strikes. 2-0 the count. And the pitch to Wyatt is outside, and that's ball 3. So 3 strikes to Wyatt, who hails from Glendale, Arizona. That's west of Phoenix. Played his college baseball in Phoenix at a good D1 program, Grand Canyon. 3 strikes. And the pitch, and that's up and in, ball 4. Close pitch there. So Wyatt and Iatone now have reached base safely a combined 6 times tonight. So Wyatt, who played in the Giants system, I remember seeing him a little bit at San Jose. And now Wyatt been in Idaho Falls for quite some time, parts of the last now 4 seasons. So he'll trot down to first. And now 1-out trouble for Rapetti with a 3-1 Idaho Falls lead. And here's Theo Hardy who comes up. And Rapetti's pitch, and Hardy a big swing and a foul to the backstop, strike 1. And the count's now at 1 strike to Hardy, who's a Northern California product, 22 years old, played his college baseball at San Jose State. Played 3 years for the Spartans. This is the who just joined. I mean, he literally is in the infancy of his pro career. As the pitch, and that's high for a ball, 1-1. And what I mean by this, I don't mean that he's, been here since the start of the season. Hardy was just signed a few days ago, last week really, by Idaho Falls. I mean, just completed the season with San Jose State, and now goes into pro ball with Idaho Falls. This is just his 4th game with the Chukars. As Rapetti delivers, and that's taken for a strike on the inside corner. And the count moves now to 1-2 to Theo Hardy, who singled and scored in that 3-run first. So 1 out, 2 on. Iatone's at second. Wyatt is at first. 3-1 Chukars. Rapetti delivers, and Hardy a tapper foul up along first. 1-2 strikes. But yeah, pretty much 4 full seasons with San Jose State. They say pretty much. I mean, his first year played 20 games, but his 3 other seasons played at least 50 contests for the Spartans as he takes outside for a ball. And the count's now with 2-2 to Theo Hardy, 231 through his first 13 official professional bats coming into tonight. The kick and the pitch, and Hardy takes, and that is high ball 3. And the count's now at 3-2 to Theo Hardy. So Iatone's at second, Wyatt's at first. And a 3-1 Chukar advantage, bottom half of the 4th inning. There's Rapetti. Right arm dangling down, ready to go. The 3-2. Just outside, ball 4. Rapetti wants that challenged as he puts his bare right hand on his black cap, but to no avail. It's confirmed a ball. So that loads him up now. So Iatone at third. Wyatt moves to second. Hardy's on base safely for the 2nd time. And now it's Brett Barrera who bats. And here's a guy who got 10 home runs this year. Tonight he's 2 for 2 with an RBI single. That gives him 36 team-high RBIs. So Brett Barrera, a chance at a bundle here. And we've come to, I guess you could say it last inning, but I'll say it again this inning. We've come to another crossroads. It's 3-1 in favor of Idaho Falls, but a base hit right here could obviously really open it up. Base hit to the outfield, that is. But a double play ball can also get out of this inning. So a couple of options here as Rapetti delivers, and Barrera grand slam cut and a foul to the backstop strike. 1-0-1 to Barrera, the 23-year-old, a guy that can play all sorts of spots in the infield. He's at first base tonight from the Stanford alum who was drafted a couple of years ago in the 8th round by the Yankees. And Brett Barrera. And the 0-1 on the way, and Barrera takes, and that is inside for a ball. And the count is at 1-1. I think Rapetti really wanted that one. Kind of took a step, did take a step off the mound, appearing at the plate umpire, whose name as I said earlier, we have the names of the umpires, we just don't know their positions. As Barrera swings here and grounds one into left field, he's got himself a base hit. Iatone scores. Up to third base, stopping there is Wyatt. Gonzalez quickly with the ball, gets it back in toward the infield. And it's 4-1 now in favor of the Idaho Falls Chukars. So Barrera, that's his 2nd RBI tonight. 4-1 Idaho Falls. And obviously those walks really coming back to hurt Rapetti. Wyatt to third, Hardy to second. Barrera now on base for the 3rd time tonight. 3rd time tonight safely on the base paths for Barrera, now with a team-high 37 runs batted in. He is now 3 for 3. And now it's Trevor Rogers who comes up. So 4-1 now Idaho Falls. It's also the 8th hit now for Idaho Falls. It's the most hits Rapetti has allowed in a game this year. Mentioned Rapetti coming into tonight, back-to-back 9 strikeout performances. June 11th in Northern Colorado. June 18th, meaning last week at home against Oakland. And Jerome Williams, the pitching coach, out to calm Rapetti down. We know how emotional Rapetti can get at times. And when Barrera got that hit, that got past the shortstop Marine to zero fault of Marine. Let me make it clear. I mean, what I'm saying is it got through the infield. Rapetti just kind of went down, slammed his right hand into the grass back of the mound. So now it's Trevor Rogers who digs in. He is 1 for 1, a sacrifice fly and a double. 4-1 Idaho Falls. Bottom half of the, and that's outside ball 1. Well, 1 ball and no strikes to count to Rogers. And the pitch, and Rogers swings and a ground ball foul up along first. And the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike to Rogers. And the next pitch, and that's a strike on the inside corner. 1-2 the count. This is not the same Trevor Rogers, who was the former #1 pick as a pitcher by Miami. And that ball just was blooped out into shallow center field. So another run is in. And now it's Roberto Gonzalez who comes up. Now 5 straight Chukars who have reached. And the pitch here, and that swung on, and that is chopped up the middle, and that's going to get through into center field for a base hit. And in to score comes Barrera. And this thing really falling apart now for Yolo. So let's recap this here. Rogers singled to center. Only 1 run scored there. I think I said 2 runs scored there. So that scored Wyatt. It moved Hardy to third. Barrera up to second. We're going to try and catch up on everything. And now it's Jacob Jablonski, the 8th man to bat in the inning. And he takes outside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count. So Rogers is at second base. Barrera has actually scored. Now a swing and a ground ball towards short. Grabbed by Maringos Lede at second for 1. And on a Figueiredo at first. That is a double play, but too little, too late. So it's a 6-4-3 on the double play. And that concludes matters here. But the Idaho Falls Chukars in this inning come up with 4 runs. And again, the walks telling the story here, part of the story. So 4 runs, there were 4 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left. We go to the 5th. It is now 7-1, Idaho Falls leading Yolo on YouTube Live. 7-1 Idaho Falls as we go to the top half of the fifth inning. And the first pitch on the way to the Yolo catcher and Angel Mendoza, and he gets plunked with it. Like that got him right in his left shoulder, so Mendoza will go down to first base. And that's not exactly the way, but Owen Schartz with a 7-1 lead wanted to start the fifth inning, and that has hit the first batter. So Mendoza, and then the top of the yellow order for the center fielder Skinner, and then Marine, 9-1-2. 7-1 Idaho Falls, and the pitch to Skinner, and that's bunted out in front of the mound. The pitcher up with it in Schartz, and he will throw to first. And Skinner is what's the call here? Is that a foul ball? Did he bunt it off his foot? Is he coming back toward the plate? Is that a foul ball? Are they going to call him out of the batter's box? What's, you know what? I think he put his left foot on home plate. And if a batter puts the left foot on home plate, or any of the feet on home plate, and that interferes with the catcher, he's out. Yeah, the home plate umpire immediately ruled that Skinner according to the replay, it looks like the home plate umpire ruled that Skinner was out for interference, or unless he bunted the ball off himself in fair territory. But they're going to call him out for bunting the ball off of himself in fair territory, or stepping on home plate. Either way, it's a putout that goes two unassisted, because the catcher, McCarthy, is the closest player to that. Now it's Marine, and he swings, and he flies this one high in the air toward right field. And over to make the play is the center fielder, Wyatt, and Mendoza is going to be out. That's going to be a double play. Great play there by the center fielder in Wyatt. Long way to go for Tyler Wyatt. And they threw back to first base. Mendoza was well on his way to second base. And out there is Mendoza. It is a double play, and we'll score that for you when we'll score it for you right now. Wyatt threw to the second baseman, or threw to the shortstop in Hardy, who just tagged Mendoza out. Mendoza was standing near second, so an easy double play. Fly ball double play goes 8-6, and that ends the fifth inning. So we saw some unusual outs here in this fifth. Fly ball, 8-6 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Halfway done, we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Idaho Falls 7 and Yolo 1 on YouTube Live. Halfway done, we go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. It is 7-1 Idaho Falls, and Noah Lewis is the new pitcher for Yolo. And the first pitch on the way to Brandon Boning is taken for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. So it's Boning, McCarthy, and then the top of the Idaho Falls order for the right fielder, Iatone. And the pitch on the way to Boning, and that swung on and driven toward left field. And this ball is gone. Or is it? Folks, this is not very good with these camera or lack thereof angles. So, again, please bear with me. I am trying my best, folks. Not sure what happened there. Here is Ryan McCarthy. The ball was hit to left field. Remember, I am calling this off a monitor here. So this is not the really the best way to see the action here. And I will try and find out what happened. I thought that was a home run. It was not. As the pitch here to McCarthy. And that is taken outside, ball 1. One ball and 1 strike. McCarthy is swinging a miss, strike 2. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 7-1 Idaho Falls. Lewis steals. Breaking ball down and in. Swinging a miss, strike 3. And McCarthy is out. So that's a second out. I'm guessing that prior play, and it was a fly ball out to left. The best angle I had, I did not see Gonzalez catch the ball. I thought it was a home run, and obviously it was not. So I embarrassingly missed that one. So Boning flies out to left. That was the first down. The McCarthy strikes out swinging. Top of the Idaho Falls order for the 4th time for the right fielder, Nick Iantone. And he takes outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Iantone perfect tonight. 2 for 2. Single, double, walk, couple of runs scored. And the pitch, and that's taken for a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 7-1 Idaho Falls, bottom 4. And Lewis delivers, and that's fouled off left side. Yeah, again, I'm doing these games. We are remote. Not going to dispute that. And we are given very limited camera angles. So we see a fly ball hit. Sometimes it's a guess. We have the center field camera. We can catch balls and strikes pretty clearly. But once a ball is hit, a different deal. And I really apologize for that. As the pitch on the way, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Cameron Rapetti, his night is done. We'll give you his line in a moment. The 3-2, and Iatone swings and a ground ball. I am guessing, not sure where that was hit, but it was hit to the right side, and it's an out. Is out, and we'll try and find out what that out was when we get back. I mean, I saw a ground ball, unless it was a low-line drive. I didn't see anybody throw the ball to Figueiredo at first, but it is a 1-2-3 inning, so first time tonight, Idaho Falls goes in order. So Noah Lewis, we'll talk more about him later. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go on to the 6th inning. 7-1 Idaho Falls leads Yolo on YouTube Live. All right, the last play of the bottom of the fifth inning, the ball was hit to the first baseman, Alejandro Figueiredo, who stepped on first for the unassisted out. So there you go. It was a 3 unassisted to end the fifth inning. That's why I didn't see a throw. Okay, that made sense. So Bobby Leday leads it off, and Owen Sharp still out there, and Leday is behind it. No balls and 2 strikes. Leday, Gonzalez, Figueiredo, 3-4-5. 7-1 Idaho Falls, top of the sixth. And the pitch way outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. So obviously Yolo's going to have to score a lot of runs and hold off Idaho Falls so they have a chance to win this one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch, and Leday reaches for this one and taps it toward short, charged by Hardy. And he will throw to Barrera at first, and Leday is out. So Leday, who was hitting over 400 about a week ago, but has really cooled off. 1 for his last 19 now. So 1 down, top half of the sixth inning. It is 7-1 Idaho Falls. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Idaho Falls. 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors for Yolo. And now it's Jose Gonzalez, who is 1 for 2. And Sharp delivers, and Gonzalez takes to the letters for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. So Cameron Repetti tonight for Yolo. 4 innings, gave up 10 hits, 7 runs all earned. Walked 4, struck out 3, offered a wild pitch. As Gonzalez swings on a pop-up foul left side. And the count now at no balls and 2 strikes to Jose Gonzalez. Well, Yolo had a chance in the fourth. Runners at first and second and 1 out. Couldn't score. Did score a run in the third. Gonzalez swings here. Line drive, center field, base hit. So Sharp left that ball up, and Gonzalez just ripped it into center for a base hit. Wyatt, the center fielder, up with the ball, gets it in towards second. So Gonzalez, 2 more hits for him. He's now 2 for 3. That's at number 5 for Yolo, but a 7-1 Idaho Falls advantage. And now it's Figueiredo who comes up for the 3rd time. Alejandro was 1 for 2 with a single to right. That's the crazy thing about baseball. It's anything different than other sports. The percentages are just going to catch up with you. That's just the way the game works. As Figueiredo was swinging a foul to the backstop, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. I mean, Leday had been, hitting, as I said, as hot as anybody. Had his average over 400. And the pitch on the way to Figueiredo was low from Sharp's ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Had an 8-game hitting streak that snapped June 19th. He was hitting .571 over that 8-game hitting streak. Leday was. He was 20 for 35. .571 clip on during the hitting streak. That ended June 19th, and for the most part since then, just 1 hit in now 19 at-bats. Gonzalez at first, and Figueiredo, a big swing and a miss to the curve, and that's strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chukars 7, High Wheelers 1. Top half of the 6th. But Leday, that game June 18th, he was 4 for 4, reached base safely 6 times. Also had 4 steals in that game. The kick and the 1-2, and that misses low, ball 2. And the count now is at 2 balls and 2 strikes with a 7-1 lead for the Idaho Falls Chukars. Team flew into Salt Lake yesterday and then bust up from Salt Lake. About a 3-hour bus ride here. As the pitch, and that is taken high for a ball. And the count's now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Figueiredo. So Repetti mentioned allowing 10 hits tonight. That matches the most hits allowed by a Yolo pitcher this year. Sean Gamelin allowed 10 hits June 7th at Oakland. As the 3-2 pitch, it's a 2 into the 3-2 pitch, that's high ball 4. So Figueiredo, he draws a walk. So 7-1 Idaho Falls, but first and second now with 1 out. And now the designated hitter, Braden Blackford, bats. He is 1 for 2 with a single to right. Mentioned the Idaho Falls manager, Troy Percival, guy who had a terrific career as a pitcher in the major league. This is a pretty major league heavy staff for, I say great, but a very popular Kansas City Royal, a guy who played here with Idaho Falls as twice in his big league career, had seasons of 10 or more wins, also played with the Indians, Royals, and Mariners. So, yeah, Troy Percival, one of the great closers of all time, and then Bob Malakin and then Billy Butler. So a lot of major league experience on that staff. Now it's Blackford, and Braden looks outside, ball one. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. So Blackford 1 for 2 tonight with a single to right. 7-1 Idaho Falls. 1 out, 2 on, top of the 6th. As Sharts come set. And the pitch to Blackford. And that's down the middle for the strike. And the count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Blackford, the DH tonight. Normally we see him at third base. Blackford, it's the third time this year he has been the DH. Most common DH this year for Yolo, Sam Kaczynski, but he got released a little over a week ago. Runners at first and second, and Blackford a home run cut and a miss. And that is strike 2. And the count's now at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Braden Blackford. So 7-1 Idaho Falls. Maybe a chip away, try to get a couple of runs here. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. And Sharp steals from the set, and Blackford takes low and in for a ball. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Braden Blackford, who takes his dark brown bat, at least the barrel of the bat is dark brown, taps his cleats, ready to go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, and the pitch, and Blackford swings and misses. High fastball, strike 3. So he strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And that's now the 8th strikeout for Sharts. So 2 out, 2 on, and now Kirkland Banks will come up. I mentioned Sharts, the most strikeouts he has had in a game this season is 9. That was June 13th in Missoula. 8 strikeouts now tonight. Back-to-back games with 8 strikeouts for Sharts. So now it's Kirkland Banks, and he swings and misses at a breaking ball. Strike 1. I'm sorry, it's not Kirkland Banks. It's Justin Kirby at the plate. I beg your pardon. Swings and misses, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and a strike. Banks waits on deck. So let me correct that. That's actually 7 strikeouts for Sharts. And the pitch here, and that swung on a missed strike, too. So he's got 7 strikeouts, but he had 8 in his last start. A little ahead of myself there, folks. Meanwhile, the count to Kirby quickly at no balls and 2 strikes. Well, if Kirby strikes out here, then I guess I would be right, but let's hope that's not the case. Blackford, I think I had said I had written, what happened was, folks, I had already written a strikeout in Kirby's column, somehow skipped over Blackford. Blackford is now 1 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Kirby is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And the pitch, and Kirby, well, guess what? Swings and misses, strike 3, and he is out. So, as it turns out, I get a B right there. And that is now the 8th strikeout for Sharts. And the High Wheelers do not score in the 6th. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 1 on YouTube Live and Flow Sports.
last time I went to yoga class? Hey, Erica, did my membership increase? When your questions about
We go to the
money, there's Erica, the virtual financial assistant to help you spend, save, and plan smarter. Only from Bank of America.
bottom half of the sixth inning. And the Idaho Falls Chukars lead at 7-1. And the first, Tyler Wyatt is at the plate. And Noah Lewis, first pitch was a strike on the outside corner. Next pitch, a ball. So 1-1 to count. It's Wyatt, Hardy, and Barrera, 2-3-4. And the 1-1 pitch is swung on and flied toward right center field. A couple steps to his right is Justin Kirby, and the right fielder makes the catch, and Wyatt is retired for the first time tonight. One down, 7-1 Idaho Falls, bottom of the sixth. The Wyatt is now 1 for 2. He's also walked twice and scored twice, so now it's Theo Hardy who digs in. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Idaho Falls. 1 run on 5 hits, no errors for Yolo. And now it's Hardy who takes outside from Lewis, ball 1. And the count moves to 1 ball and no strikes. Hardy is 1 for 2, a single walk, 2 runs scored. And Lewis misses inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes from Noah Lewis, who has pitched very well so far for Yolo this season. Pitch here, tap foul up along first. And the count moves now to 2 balls and a strike. Lewis, 6'2", 190 pounds. He's from the Bay Area, from Pleasanton and out in the East Bay. 23 years old, went to Contra Costa College in San Pablo for Noah Lewis. Count, I believe, is 2 balls and a strike. 7-1 Idaho Falls. Lewis delivers, and that ball is grounded to first base. Figueiredo up with it, and he'll take the ball to the bag himself. 3 unassisted there, 2 down. Here in the 6th inning, the bottom of the 6th inning. 7-1 Idaho Falls, and now Brett Barrera bats. It's a tongue twister. He is 3 for 3 tonight. 3 singles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. But Lewis, mentioned, has pitched very well in his first couple of weeks as a member of the High Wheelers. Give you his numbers in a moment as the pitch to Barrera, and that's popped up. First base side, Figueiredo waiting for it and dancing from fair territory to foul territory. Now back to fair territory, stays with it back of the first base bag, and he makes the catch. And Lewis, 2 perfect innings, so that's been the theme for Lewis so far. This as a High Wheeler. Lewis now his 5th appearance with Yolo. Now 8 shutout innings for Yolo without a decision. So tonight, 2 perfect innings for Lewis. Nothing across. We go to the 7th. That's the good news. Bad news is it's Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 1 on YouTube Live. We go to the 7th inning tonight. All Idaho Falls 7-1. The Chukars out in front over Yolo. And Idaho Falls brings on a new pitcher. I'll tell you about in a moment. It's a sidearmer by the name of Steven Ordowica. And the first pitch is fouled off right side, strike one by Kirkland Banks. No balls and one strike, capital O-R-D-O-R-I-C-A. And the sidearmer deals, and Banks swings and fists one foul right side. And the count moves to no balls and two strikes. Ordowica 1-0 this year. 3.24 ERA, ninth appearance, all out of the bullpen. As the pitch to Banks, and that's swung on, and that is lined into center field. And he has himself a base hit. So Kirkland Banks has his second hit tonight. He has scored the only Yolo run. So he is now 2 for 3. And that'll bring up the catcher in Angel Mendoza. So it's Banks, Mendoza, and then the top of the Yolo order for the center fielder, Skinner. So Owen Sharts tonight, 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 run earned. He walked 2, struck out 8, and hit a batter. So Sharts now 25 strikeouts over his last 3 starts. Turn, throw to first and out with a dive is Banks. He's been picked off. Just like that, Yolo is down 7-1 here in the 7th inning. Leadoff man reaches, and he's erased immediately. No doubt about it. Tag applied by the first baseman Barrera, 1-3 on the pickoff. So just like that, 1 out, nobody on. And now Angel Mendoza bats all by himself, and he swings at a tapper on the ground at first, right at Barrera. Easy step to the bag at first, or puts on the, taps the bag with his foot, and Mendoza is out. So 3 unassisted. So, well, it went from 1 on and nobody out, is now immediately 2 out and nobody on, and a 7-1 Idaho Falls lead. Top of the 7th inning, and now for the 4th time tonight, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner, who's 0 for 2 with a walk, and he takes outside ball 1-0. Ordowica, 5'10", 165 pounds. He's 25 years old. Sidearm offering, and that swung on, swatted foul left side. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike. And the count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Turn, throw to first. And back safely with a dive is Skinner. So for the most part, all Idaho Falls tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Ordowica ready to go from the set. Sidearm offering, and Marine swings and misses strike 3. Pitch up and away. And he is out, and he's 0 for 4 now. And the High Wheelers done in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Stretch time from Melaleuca Park. Or Melaleuca Field, I should say, in Idaho Falls, Idaho, with the score. Idaho Falls 7 and Yolo 1. You're listening to Yolo High Wheelers Baseball on YouTube Live.
Time for some Sunny Life Pro tips. 1. Switch to Mercury Insurance for amazing protection. 2.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Stretch time from Idaho Falls here at Melaleuca Field as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And the lead is 7-1 Idaho Falls. Turner Thompson, who has one scoreless inning as a professional baseball player, he comes on to do the pitching. Noah Lewis, another outstanding job tonight. 2 perfect innings with a strikeout, completes his line. 7-1 Idaho Falls. Trevor Rogers leads it off. And Turner Thompson, who grew up in Tampa, ready to go from the high set position. Kicks and the pitch, and that's taken for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike, so it's Rogers, Gonzalez, and Jablonski here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 7-1 Idaho Falls. And the pitch to Rogers, and that's foul to the screen. No balls, 2 strikes. Rogers, part of that 4-run 4th inning, was also part of that 3-run first, but that 4th inning, a 2-run single. He's 2 for 2. No balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch. And Rogers swings here and grounds this one to the right side. Up with the ball to his right, the first baseman Figueiredo, and flips underhand to the pitcher Thompson covering. And Rogers is out, 1 down, so Rogers officially retired for the first time tonight. 1 away, and now Roberto Gonzalez digs in. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. 7-1 Idaho Falls leads Yolo. Bottom half of the 7th inning. So I mentioned Noah Lewis, 2 perfect innings with a strikeout. So Lewis now 8 innings this year for Yolo with 3 strikeouts. And again, he's yet to allow a run since being picked up from Marysville in the Pecos League. So now Gonzalez, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Roberto Gonzalez, no balls and a strike. Gonzalez an RBI single to center in that 4-run 4th. The lead is 7-1 Idaho Falls. And Turner Thompson kicks and the pitch, and Gonzalez takes, and that's up and in for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Turner Thompson signed last week by the Yolo High Wheelers out of Samford University in Birmingham. The 1-1, and that is swung on, and that's ripped to the left field. A base hit. Hit between the shortstop Marine and the third baseman Banks. So Gonzalez now 2 for 4. And here is Jacob Jablonski, who digs in 0 for 3. 7-1 Idaho Falls, bottom of the 7th. Turner Thompson stands 6 feet, and he's 22 years old. Went to high school, grew up in Tampa, at Jesuit High in Tampa. So now Jablonski bats. And Thompson, great pants up to his knees, delivers. Jablonski takes a strike on the inside corner. No balls, 1 strike. So Thompson, his pro debut was June 21st. That was last Friday. That 8-0 Yolo win. Went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit in his first ever pro inning. And the pitch of Jablonski low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Thompson pitched at both Tulane and then transferred to Samford. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 7-1 Chukars, bottom of the 7th. And the sidestep offering here, swing and a miss, strike 2. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jacob Jablonski. 2-2 the count. And the pitch, and that's in the dirt for a ball. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jablonski, who is from the San Fernando Valleys, from Mission Hills, California, north of L.A. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gonzalez in at first, the pitch, and that's popped up foul left side. 2-2 to count. Jablonski, kind of an interesting background in terms of colleges. He played 2 seasons in the Sun Belt Division I program at Arkansas State, up in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and then played his final 2 college years of the Division II level at Chico State. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch, up and away, ball 3, 3-2. This is his first professional season for Jablonski, coming into tonight at 303 with 4 homers and 20 RBIs. Now he played various summer leagues, and Jacob Jablonski, 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. 3-2 the count. So, and the pitch, and that's high, ball 4. So Gonzalez up to second. Jablonski on base for the first time tonight. So first and second now against Turner Thompson. And now Brandon Boning comes up, and he is 0 for 3 with a 7-1 lead for the Idaho Falls Chukars. And only series this year between these 2 teams. The runners lead at first and second. And they pitch to Boning, and that's swung on, and that's popped up on the right side of the diamond. Infield fly rule in effect. And the second baseman, Bobby Leday, backpedals, and on the dirt he makes the catch. So Boning is out, 2 down. Runners hold at first and second. 7-1 Idaho Falls. And now Ryan McCarthy will come to the plate. McCarthy, he is 0 for 3 tonight. And the pitch on the way, and that is taken high for a ball, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball. And no strikes to McCarthy. 7-1, Idaho Falls advantage. Again, every game this series, 6:05 p.m. Pacific time, first pitch. As Thompson looks back at second, and the pitch, swing, ground ball toward short, to his left, Marine up with it, and an easy underhand toss to second baseman Leday to get the force on the sliding Jablonski. So Turner Thompson a shutout, 7th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the 8th. 7-1 Idaho Falls leads Yolo on YouTube Live. Well, the sun's starting to set here in Idaho Falls, where it stays light until about 9:30 during the summertime. And of course, we get dark about 4:30 in the wintertime. So we go to the top of the 8th inning, and the sun's been setting throughout this one on Yolo to 7-1 in favor of Idaho Falls. And Wyatt Luke Hempel, capital Hempel, Wyatt Luke, comes on to do the pitching. Final line on Steven. 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. So Wyatt Luke Hempel, who wears number 0, capital Hempel, he will do the pitching with Idaho Falls leading this game 7-1. 7 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for Idaho Falls. Yolo, 1 run on 6 hits and no errors. So Hempel, again, coming on to do the pitching, and Yolo running out of time as Bobby Leday leads it off, and Hempel's pitch, and Leday swings, and he grounds this one into left field, a base hit. So it's got to feel pretty good for Bobby Leday, who prior to this inning had been 1 for his last 19. So he singles to left to get the 8th inning going. So back-to-back innings in which Yolo has had the leadoff man reach, but they haven't been able to do anything with it. Well, Banks got picked off first last inning. So now Leday, he is aboard. Leday, Gonzalez, Figueredo, 3, 4, 5. So Leday's at first. Now it's Gonzalez who's 2 for 3. Couple of singles. 7-1 Idaho Falls. And the pitch on the way to Gonzalez, and that's a strike on the outside corner. And the count's of no balls and 1 strike. Facing Wyatt Luke Hempel, who is 24 years old, 6'5", 180 pounds. Played at Cal State San Bernardino. Played for the Coyotes, who he delivers. That pitch is low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the first professional year for Hempel. This is just his 3rd game, so he was just signed by Idaho Falls. So he's definitely a newbie. Gonzalez is 2 for 3, a couple of singles. 7-1 Idaho Falls in the 8th inning. Top of the 8th, and the pitch, and Gonzalez swings here, and he grounds this ball toward second base, and that's going to sneak through into right field, a base hit. The second baseman, Boning, went to his left, could not come up with it, just skipped past him. Leday, seeing that, is going to go first to third, and Jose Gonzalez, 3 more hits now. He's 3 for 4. He's got all 3 singles, or all 3 of his hits are singles. And now it's Alejandro Figueredo who digs in. 7-1 in favor of Idaho Falls. And now Figueredo bats. So I mentioned Jose Gonzalez with that great series against Oakland last week. 9 for 23 in that series. 3 hits now so far in this series. And now Figueredo grounds one foul up along first, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Alejandro is 1 for 2 tonight, a single and a walk. So Gonzalez now, over his last 7 games, that includes tonight, 17 times he's reached base safely. Now it's safely in 5 straight games, and in that span is 10 for his last 19. The runners lead at first and third. And the pitch to Figueredo, and that's swung on, and that's blooped toward center field, and that's going to get down a base hit. Leday will score. Up to second is Gonzalez announcing the center fielder Wyatt Booth the baseball. He gets past him. Wyatt's got to retrace his steps, gets the ball, but by that time Gonzalez is at third. Leday's already scored. Figueredo will stop at first. He's got his second hit. Give him an RBI. 7-2 Idaho Falls. Hit plus error, so Gonzalez was going to stop at second anyway. Moves to third on the error by the center fielder Wyatt. So it's first and third with nobody out. And the pitching coach and Bob Malacki will come out and settle down Hempel. Now Hempel, just first few games of pro ball, and you have a guy like Bob Malacki who's been in this game well over 30 years. Always love to hear the conversations there, and a lot of knowledge that Bob Malacki has, that is for sure. So now it's Blackford, who is 1 for 3. So Idaho Falls now up 7-2, but, one swing of Blackford's bat makes it a 2-run game. This is one of those situations here where, as crazy as this sounds, maybe you don't want a home run here. Sometimes a home run is a rally killer. Now the pitch to Blackford, and he swings and he flies this ball toward left field. And Jablonski goes back, and he loses sight of the ball. It falls behind him. Gonzalez will score. Figueredo will get as far as third base. And Blackford ends up with a two-base hit, a gift two-base hit. It's twilight time here, and Jablonski went back, and it sort of looked like he lost sight of the ball, a fly ball double. So Blackford has his second hit. It's now 7-3 in favor of Idaho Falls. Figueredo gets as far as third base. Gonzalez scores from third. Blackford an RBI double. And now it's Justin Kirby who is 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out all 3 times. And Hempel from the set with runners at second and third. And the pitch, ground ball toward third. That's knocked down by the third baseman Gonzalez, but he has no play anywhere. The ball went behind him in the foul ground, and seeing that, Figueredo scores. Blackford stays at second. And Kirby is on at first. That's an error. Again, the third baseman Gonzalez, that ball went off his glove. It rolled away from him to his right in the foul ground. And by the time it got away from him, Figueredo hustled to the plate. So he scores. There's no RBI because Figueredo was not off on contact. He didn't get to the plate until after he saw the ball go off the glove of the third baseman Gonzalez. So Figueredo ends up scoring. Blackford holds at second. E5, as I mentioned, no RBI, but the High Wheelers will take it, and still nobody out. And the first 5 High Wheelers have reached here in the 8th inning, and that's going to be all for Hempel. And we will see Garrett Crowley come on to do the pitching. So we got a game right now, and the tying run is going to be coming up in the presence of Kirkland Bank. So we'll step out. Things getting interesting. Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 4. Top of the 8th inning. Back to tell you about Garrett Crowley in a moment on YouTube Live. The new pitcher for the Idaho Falls Chukars is left-hander Garrett Crowley. First name capital Garret. Crowley, he is in his first professional season. 2 wins, 2 losses, ERA at 4.24, 15th appearance, all out of the bullpen for Crowley, who began his college career. He ended up a brief time at Fordham. Of course, the pandemic's going to make it a brief time, but overall at Fordham over 3 seasons, a total of 23 games, and then spent his last couple of college seasons at Texas Tech. So the possible tying run is up, and it's Kirkland Banks who bats. Still nobody out, top of the 8th inning. It is 7-4, Idaho Falls. So Blackford's at second, Kirby at first. Banks is 2 for 3. A double, a single, a run scored. And Kirkland bunts one foul back of the plate, strike one. A ball's and a strike. Crowley, 6'4", 215 pounds. 24 years old. And Garrett Crowley, Blackford, that fly ball, RBI double to left. He leads at, he's at second base. Kirby is the runner at first. Shortstop Hardy trying to keep Blackford close at second. And now Hardy backs off, and the pitch, and that's very high for a ball. And the count's now at 1-1 to Banks. What was once 7-1 Idaho Falls coming into this 8th inning is now 7-4 Idaho Falls. Now Mendoza is on deck. I'm wondering if they might pinch hit for Mendoza, but we'll worry about that in a moment. The kick of the 1-1, and Banks takes, and that's down the middle, strike 2. And the count's now at 1-2 to Kirkland Banks. If anything here with Banks, obviously you don't want to hit the ball on the ground, at least to one of the infielders. Double play is a possibility here, but maybe get a slow roller. Not going to bunt now with 2 strikes. I highly doubt it. But maybe try to tighten things up a little bit as he swings and grounds one foul up along third. So trying to at least advance the runners here. Even then a base hit to the outfield after that could make it a 1-run game. Obviously, you're right back in it. But you know what? You're right back in it here with a tying run up. 1-2 strikes. Crowley deals, and Banks swings and misses strike 3, but the ball gets away from the catcher, McCarthy, and the runners will advance. So Banks strikes out swinging. The catcher, McCarthy, has to go back at the plate to grab the baseball. But the runners advance on the wild pitch, so Blackford goes to third. Kirby up to second. Now, that's the weird thing. That's not quite what I had in mind with a productive out. Productive out means maybe a slow roller past the mound, a fly ball deep enough to advance the runners. Hey, but the runners did move up with 1 out, so yeah, it's a strikeout swinging. Banks didn't literally do it. All right, we are going to see a pinch hitter for Mendoza. It's going to be Mason Minzy. So Mason will pinch hit here in the top half of the 8th inning. And, of course, then even though Minzy can obviously catch, but my guess is Mendoza will come back in and catch in the bottom of the 8th. Minzy comes up at 298. He has no homers, and he has 5 RBIs. So big moment here for the switch hitter, batting right-handed in Minzy against the lefty Crowley. Runners at second and third, and the pitch, and Minzy takes, and that's down the middle for a strike, 0-1. Now, of course, Minzy is the tying run, and he is yet to homer this year, so this would be a good time. If anything, Minzy, again, the infield is back. They will give the High Wheelers a run right here. No balls, 1 strike, and the pitch, and Minzy takes, and that is up and away for a ball. And the count moves now to 1 strike to Mason Minzy. So big moment here. High Wheelers need at least another run, at least get it to where, assuming you hold Idaho Falls in the bottom of the inning, to at least get it to where you'd have the tying run on deck. But a base hit to the outfield could obviously make it better than that. The pitch, and Mason takes at the knees, strike 2. And the count moves down to 1-2 strikes. Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 4, but the High Wheelers, who've already scored 3 times in the 8th, continuing to thread here. Now 1-2 the count. And Crowley delivers. And that pitch just outside for a ball. So close pitch there. Idaho Falls is going to challenge that, but the ball stands. So ball is confirmed. So the count now at 2-2 strikes. So the pinch hitter in Minzy. Top of the order, and the center fielder Skinner wetting on deck. Doug Greenwald with you here at Melaleuca Field in Idaho Falls, Idaho. 7-4 Idaho Falls. And now the 2-2 strike pitch, and Minzy swings and misses strike 3. Breaking pitch down, and Minzy chased it and comes up empty. So a big strikeout there that keeps runners at second and third. And now for the 5th time tonight, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder in Braylon Skinner. And he is 0 for 2, and he is walked twice. Well, now it's going to take a base hit to at least get another run in. A base to the outfield, get 2 more runs in. Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 4. Top half of the 8th. Lefty on lefty in Crowley's pitch. And Skinner swing and a foul ball left side, strike 1. And the count's now at no balls and 1 strike. To Braylon Skinner. And the 0-1 here, and Skinner takes a breaking pitch at the knees, strike 2. So Crowley quickly ahead at no balls and 2 strikes. So Crowley a chance to strike out all 3 batters in this inning. All 3 batters he's coming to face in this inning. Blackford at third, Kirby at second. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Ball gets away from the catcher McCarthy up along the first base side, but he'll pick the ball up. Plenty of time to throw to Barrera at first. Strikeout, put out goes 2-3. And the Yolo High Wheelers, the good news is they scored 3 runs and they had a chance for a lot more, but Garrett Crowley comes in and strikes out Banks, Minzy, and Skinner in order. And the High Wheelers have to settle for just the 3 runs. So 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 2 left on to the bottom half of the 8th. 7-4, Idaho Falls out in front over Yolo on YouTube Live. On to the bottom of the 8th inning, Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 4. Wyatt Luke Hempful, his final line tonight, no innings, 4 hits, 3 runs all earned. No walks, no strikeouts. But how about the job Garrett Crowley did? Came on having to face the tying run all 3 times, and he struck everybody out, so tip of the cap to him. Noah Estrella is the new pitcher for Yolo. And the top of the Idaho Falls order for the 5th time for Nick Iatone, and he takes outside ball 1. 1-0 the count. Iatone, Wyatt, and Hardy to face Estrella, who deals, and Iatone looks outside ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Iatone is 2 for 3, a single, a double, and a walk. He has scored twice. Turner Thompson tonight for Yolo, 1 shutout inning, 1 hit, and 1 walk. The kick of the 2-0, and Iatone takes up and in. That's ball 3. So 3-0 the count to Iatone from the Tucson area product. Noah Estrella, 24 years old, stands 6'4". And the 3-ball, no strike pitch, and Estrella takes, and that's a strike on the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. Estrella last worked on Saturday at home against Oakland. 3-1, and Noah delivers, and a breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Estrella on Saturday went 1 inning, allowed 1 run, which was not earned, and he walked 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Estrella deals, and Iatone takes right down the middle. He knew it. Good pitch there. He's out. Called out on strikes. 1 down. And now Tyler Wyatt will come up. He is 1 for 2, a single, a pair of walks, and a pair of runs scored. 7-4, Idaho Falls. 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the, 7 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Chukars. For Yolo, 4 runs on 10 hits and no errors. And now Wyatt, a pop-up foul right side, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. I think when I went to break last, when we last went to break in between the top and bottom of the inning, I had said there was 1 error on the inning for Idaho Falls. In the top of the inning, there were 2 errors. So the total should have been 3 runs for Yolo, 4 hits, 2 errors, and 2 left. No balls and a strike to count. Estrella deals, and that's inside for a ball. And the count's now at 1 ball and 1 strike from Estrella, who worked twice in that series against Oakland. Noah Estrella in his first pro season delivers, and that's up and in, ball 2. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. Tomorrow's pitching matchup, at least for Yolo, I can tell you, it'll be left-hander Dawson Lane. Idaho Falls, not sure what it's going to be for them. And, there's, they said, some player moves and confusion on the technical side tonight on the Chiron on who the starter was, which threw me off, and I'm sorry for that. The pitch on the way, swing and a miss at a fastball. And that's strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dawson Lane tomorrow for Yolo, and then Brandon McPherson on Thursday. Sean Gamelin Friday. Lefty Brandon Mitchell Saturday. Randy Benferrier Sunday. As the 1-2 here, fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Wyatt is out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Estrella, who takes a little stroll back of the mound. So 2 out, and now it's Theo Hardy who bats. He is 1 for 3, a single, a walk, and a couple of runs scored. With a 7-4 Idaho Falls lead. Bottom half of the 8th inning. And first ever meeting between these 2 Pioneer League teams. And we haven't really dug in yet to the history of Idaho Falls and baseball there, but they are one of the teams that for a long, long time had affiliated ball here. Idaho Falls had the likes of the Royals and the Padres and the Braves as affiliates. So now it's Hardy who bats, and Estrella delivers, and Hardy takes outside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Hardy, white pants up to his knees, showing the old-fashioned look to the Black Sox. So 1-0 the count. Estrella first base side of the rubber deals, and Hardy a pop-up foul left side. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike from Estrella, who features a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. So bottom half of the 8th inning. And the pitch on the way, and that's a strike on the outside corner. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count with Brett Barrera wetting on deck. Estrella, long black hair out of the back of his black cap, delivers. And that pitch is low for a ball. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 4. Idaho Falls 3 in the first, 4 in the 4th. And Estrella ready to go. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A late swing there. Hardy is out, and Estrella strikes out the side in order here in the 8th. Nothing across. We go to the 9th. Last chance for Yolo. Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 4 on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. Last chance for Yolo. We go to the top of the ninth inning. Idaho Falls 7, Yolo 4. Well, Braylon Marine leads it off. Marine the only one not to abandon that 3-run eighth inning. And, well, he has really a bonus chance to try and extend his hitting streak, which is at 14. He's 0 for 4 tonight, and Garrett Crowley's pitch, and Marine takes outside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Marine, Leday, and Gonzalez to see what they can do here in the ninth inning. So Yolo had a chance for more in that eighth. They had second and third and 1 out after already scoring 3 runs, but couldn't add to the rally. As Marine takes up and away, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes the count to Braylon Marine. Now Marine not only can extend his hitting streak here, but obviously to try to get a rally going here. But anyway, that was the good news, bad news of that eighth inning. 2 ball, no strike pitch. Marine swings, and he grounds one into left field, a base hit. Just to the left of the third baseman Gonzalez, and Braylon Marine. Now sometimes when you have a long hitting streak, not every time a streak's going to be extended early in the game. Marine waits till the last, more than likely his last at bat tonight, and he ends left. So now a 15-game hitting streak for Marine to add to the longest ever by a high wheeler. So he is at first base with nobody out. And finally, somebody does something against Crowley, who struck out the last 3 batters of that eighth inning. And now Bobby Leday bats this pitch way up high and way over the head of the catcher McCarthy to the backstop. And seeing that, Marine goes to second, so that takes away any chance of a possible double play, at least a forced double play. The count is at 1 ball and no strikes. Leday broke a 1 for 19 drought with a single to left. His single, in fact, got that eighth inning started, and then he scored on the hit by Figueiredo. So Marine at second base. But yeah, Crowley, I mean, you got to really, really applaud what Crowley did. Well, maybe not Yolo fans, but just as a baseball fan, what as Leday takes in the dirt for a ball. And the count's at 2 balls and no strikes. And Crowley came in, inherited runners at first and second. He struck out Banks swinging, and even though there was a wild pitch and the runners advanced, bottom line is nobody scored in that inning, and he struck everybody out, everybody he faced. Meanwhile, the pitching coach, Bob Malacki, will take a slow walk to the mound, call the entire infield in here. So Idaho Falls 7 and Yolo 4. 7 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for Idaho Falls. Yolo, 4 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. Cameron Rapetti started for Yolo. Ended up allowing 10 hits. And that's the most allowed by him this year, and that matches the most allowed by a Yolo pitcher this season, matching Sean Gamelin. Well, now if, Leday gets on right here, pending that Marine doesn't make any outs on the bases, then you have Jose Gonzalez coming up as the possible tying run. And Gonzalez is the, team leader in homers with 7. Leday's got 6 home runs. Marine leads at second. And the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Leday swings at a high, deep drive. Well struck. Left center field. This ball is going. And this ball is gone. And Bobby Leday makes it now 7-6, Idaho Falls. A 2-run homer out toward left center. Well, it still gets the tying run to the plate in Gonzalez. But Leday really tightening the screws here. Home run for Leday now matches Gonzalez for a team-high 7. RBIs 28 and 29. And it's now 7-6 in favor of Idaho Falls. And now Jose Gonzalez can tie it with 1 swing. And he's 3 for 4 tonight with 3 singles and a run scored. And Garrett Crowley delivers, and Gonzalez takes a strike on the inside corner. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. Crowley never had struck out the side, at least the batters he faced in the 8th inning. Gonzalez swings here. Ground ball to shortstop. In a few steps to grab it is Hardy, and he will throw to Barrera at first. And Gonzalez is out, one down. But remember, Idaho Falls still leads this one, 7-6. Top of the ninth inning now, one out. That's the fourth home run, by the way, allowed by Crowley this year. And now it's Figueredo who digs in. He is 2 for 3, a couple of singles, an RBI and a run scored. He's also walked. Well, he's got some power. 7-6 Idaho Falls. So Yolo at one point down 7-1 going to the eighth. And now becomes a little nervous time here in Idaho Falls as the pitch to Figueredo, grounded foul up along first, strike one. And the count's of no balls and one strike. With Braden Blackford waiting on deck. "12 hits, by the way, now for Yolo, but it trails 7-6. Now, Yolo was on a recent streak of winning 6 out of 7 games, but then, and certainly had a chance to win that series at home against Oakland. They had Yolo had won 3 out of the first 4 games, but then lost the last 2 in that series, and in jeopardy of losing this one, but they're making it interesting. Figueredo part of that 3-run eighth with a RBI hit and a run scored. And the 0-1, and that's way outside, ball one. And the count to Figueredo is at 1 ball and 1 strike. Figueredo, one of his home runs this year have come with Yolo. His time with Billings this year, he had 3 home runs. He's got 4 home runs overall this year. 7-6 Yolo, 7-6 Idaho Falls, top of the ninth inning. 1 out, nobody on. Figueredo looks outside, ball 2. And the count's now at 2 balls and 1 strike to Figueredo. But wouldn't this be something if Yolo could, remember, they tie it, sure, that beats losing, but they'd have to go to the knockout round after that and hope for the knockout round. Well, we are awaiting the knockout round. As we obviously are done with regulation. So it is 7-7. 7-7 as we go to the ninth inning. So, or 7-7 as we go to the knockout round. So Doug Greenwald with you here on YouTube Live. And we're just waiting to see who will represent each team. Knockout round, usually it's we'll again find out. We are just waiting to see who will come out of each dugout. But how about the High Wheelers, who were down 7-1 going to the ninth, and obviously 2 in the knockout round. So we will see what transpires. Usually takes about 5 minutes to get the knockout round going. They have to set up the batting practice screens and all that. So anyway, we are done at least with the regulation part of the game. So it ends 7-7, and we will give you the final totals. So at least the totals, for Yolo, 7 runs, 14 hits, no errors, and Yolo ends up leaving 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. So Yolo leaves 10. 7 runs, 14 hits, no errors, and 10 left. Idaho Falls ends up with 7 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors, and Idaho Falls ends up stranding 8. And obviously there is no winning and losing pitch. All right, so now we have the knockout round. Here we go. Gary Davenport will do the pitching, and Bobby Leday hits one down the right field side, and that is out number 1. So Bobby Leday, who of course homered that 8th inning as a part of that rally, ends up, Leday in the 9th inning as part of that 3-run rally. Now 2 swings, 2 strikes. Mason Minzy is doing the catching for Yolo, and he takes a pitch. Again, it's not easy to call these knockout rounds, but Yolo is 0-2 in the knockout rounds. And the angle I have, I cannot really tell whether or not it's going to be a home run or not. Let's see, Leday there has just left the yard, so that's 1 home run for Leday. And we'll see here, Leday driving another one deep. Nope, that falls short of the wall. It's about a 20-foot wall out toward right center. And Leday another foul ball. So I believe that was only, let's see here, how many more swings or outs does he have? Leday is done, I believe, with only 1 home run. And now I believe this will be the Brett Barrera, who's got 10 home runs this year for Idaho Falls. Looks like Bob Malacki, the pitching coach, will pitch to him. So Barrera needs to get, obviously, if he hits 1 home run in his 5 swings, he gets more than 5 swings, but he hits 1 home run, then that at least ties it. We go to another round. If not, then it goes. If he hits 2 home runs, of course, Idaho Falls wins this game. Now, remember, everyone's a home run round. It's a regular win or a loss in the standings. So here we go. Barrera, who in the game tonight was 3 for 5. So he looks at a pitch. And the next one looks at a pitch. So he's taken now 3. Well, I guess he hadn't liked anything yet. He's taken 4 pitches. Taken 5 pitches. All right, there we go. And that ball is off the scoreboard. So he's tied it at 1. And the next pitch down the line. And that is foul. So that's 1 out. It's 1-1 on the home run round here. That's another swing and a ground ball. Doesn't matter if it's fair or not. It's an out, so that's 2 outs. But he does have 1 home run to tie Bobby Leday. And this one is hit high and deep. And let's see here. Did that one leave the yard? Again, it's not easy for me to tell on this monitor here. I can't tell, folks. I cannot tell. Well, I'm going to guess that's it. I think that. Oh no, they're still showing Barrera at the plate. I don't know what the home plate umpire is looking at. I mean, the umpire here is just standing over toward foul ground, first base side of the catching area, the home plate area. Not really sure what there's any sort of what question they have here. Unless they're looking at a replay and saying that was a foul ball. So I believe that's, I think that's out number 3. You get 2 more outs here. Idaho Falls did not homer during the game. And Barrera swings here. And another deep drive toward left field. And that ball hits the scoreboard, and I believe that is it. And I believe that Idaho Falls, it is. That's it. Yep. Idaho Falls wins the knockout round 2-1. So with the win, Idaho Falls goes to 12-19. Yolo drops to 14-14. He'll drop 3 in a row. So Barrera had made 3 outs, but makes 2 home runs. Yolo now is 0-2. I'm sorry, now 0-3 this year in the knockout round. So this is a tough one to lose when it comes down to that knockout round as the Idaho Falls dugout comes out to congratulate Barrera and each other on the victory tonight. So Yolo comes all the way back to tie the game of the 9th, but that's the way things go in the Pioneer League. You go to that, you're tied after 9, you go to the knockout round, and Idaho Falls wins the knockout round 2-1. Brett Barrera out homering Bobby Leday 2-1. So Idaho Falls wins this one by a count of 2-1. The Yolo highlights tonight, we mentioned they were down 7-1 going to the 8th, but RBI double by the designated hitter Braden Blackford scored a run in that 8th inning. There was an error, a fielding error by the third baseman Roberto Gonzalez that allowed a run to score. Alejandro Figueiredo an RBI single, and then 7-4 Idaho Falls going to the 9th. Braylon Marine, the shortstop, extended his hitting streak to 15 games with a single to left. Bobby Leday followed with his 7th home run of the year, a 2-run shot to make it 7-6. Alejandro Figueiredo, a 1-out single to center. Kyle Guerra, the pinch runner, stole second, moved to third on a ground ball to short, and then Justin Kirby, an RBI single to left, tied the game in the 9th with 2 out. But Idaho Falls, 3 in the first, 4 in the 4th, and didn't score again until winning the knockout round by a count of 2-1. So there was no winning and losing pitcher. Owen Sharks, the Idaho Falls starter, struck out 8 over 6 innings. Then after that, it was Orderica, Hempel, and then Garrett Crowley, 2 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs all earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 out pitches, and a home run. And even though he allowed 3 runs in the 9th, he really came in to save the game in the 8th to at least thwart that Yolo rally. Cameron Rapetti, of course, neither wasn't a winner or loser tonight, but Rapetti, 4 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs all earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a wild pitch. Noah Lewis, 2 innings, 1 strikeout, so still, what's he have now? Lewis this year as a Yolo High Wheeler. Now 8 shutout innings for Lewis. Turner Thompson, 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, a walk, no strikeouts. Noah Estrella, 1 perfect inning, 3 strikeouts. And Ty Buckner, a scoreless 9th, 1 hit, no walks, and a strikeout. But in the knockout round, Brett Barrera out-homers Bobby Leday 2-1, and Idaho Falls ends up with a win tonight. Back at it on YouTube Live tomorrow, right around the same time, roughly about 5:50 p.m. Pacific time. Left-hander Dawson Lane for Yolo, and Idaho